It's always nice to come in and listen to the music as you walk in first thing in the morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Jerry Lawson, and I'm your practitioner today. And we'll start off by doing our invocation. So if you would just sit, still your feet, take a nice cleansing breath. Infinite Spirit, in whom we live, move, and have our being, we acknowledge the presence and power of God. We know that His presence and power is in all, through all, and in everything that has anything to do with our service today. We know that our ushers, that our pianist, that our Zoom technician, and most of all, our minister, Reverend June Clark. We know that we are all blessed today. God is looking down on this beautiful ceremony in this wonderful Cleveland air. And I just give thanks for this time that we have together. And if you're in agreement with me, you can say with me, and so it is. Amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everyone today? I want to say welcome to everyone out there in Zoom land also. We love you all. And as we start off here, I'll start reading from our program. We wear masks in celebration for fun and to be safe. Masks that we wear for our hearts may keep us safe until they don't. Oh, listen to that. Vulnerability empowers us to drop the mask and let our light shine. Affirmation. I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. Let's say that together. I have the courage to be vulnerable and let my light shine. Our monthly theme summary is cultivating authenticity. It's not about becoming something other than who you are. Rather, it involves us in releasing those patterns of thoughts, attitudes, and actions that act as barriers to us standing in our personal truth and power. And by taking up this practice, we develop courage to be vulnerable, to stand in that truth. This month, we will explore parts of the practice of authenticity, living out loud. And from the science of mind point of view, having the courage to be vulnerable, to drop our mask and let our light be seen and felt is another piece in cultivating authenticity. Summary of today's topic. We all wear masks at one time or another, some more than others. We wear the mask to cover up the true us and what we are really feeling. I think I've done that a few times. Wearing a mask protects us from vulnerability. While inside, we want to tell people what's going on in our lives because we feel rejection, we hide. The problem with masks is when they become the norm and we lose ourselves in the process of trying to please others. Having the courage to embrace our vulnerability and let our light shine is the way through to living out loud. Human beings wear masks at different times for different reasons. We wear masks for fun during holidays and at parties, and masks are worn in theater and the arts. During the pandemic, masks were worn to help prevent infection, and not all the masks are physical. There are times and situations that we wear masks, changing or hiding who we are to protect our heart and emotions. And now for today, Our message from Reverend June Clark is, when we wear a mask, we keep parts of ourselves hidden that deserve to shine. I present to you Reverend June Clark.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations for setting your clocks correctly. I almost forgot. I talked about it, thought about it earlier in the day, and it's the last minute climbing into bed, get that clock changed. So it is a beautiful day today, giving thanks for just being here, seeing all of you that are here. We are blessed. Yes. Okay, excuse me while I put these over here. Thank you, Jerry. This month, I call it I'll just say it, I call it a hard month. I feel that the simplest, the easiest way for me to find out what's going on is to look at everybody else and continue to kind of sort of think the way I've always thought. And then here comes March. Authenticity. Looking inward at oneself. And so I come up with the word hard. It may not fit for everybody, but it fits for me. And if it fits for you, I hope that this month revives you within, and as it has me. It's interesting and kind of fun to be challenged by oneself. And that's what this month seems to be doing for me. I'm going to start back here with what Jerry has just read down to the monthly summary. And it's, let's see where it starts. I might as well I'll read it from the beginning because where I've marked is kind of chops up the sentence. Cultivating authenticity is not about becoming something other than who you are. See, that's the part about using the outside of oneself in order to decide who you are. So that's a tad difficult sometime for me. Rather, it involves us in releasing those patterns of thought, attitudes, and actions that act as barriers to us standing in our personal truth and power. I don't think I know. That is so important to our health, our mental health, our physical health, which is part of our mental health, our financial health. It's so important to examine oneself, the barriers to us standing in our personal truth and power. Power is so important, it seems, these days, in so many outer aspects of our life. Power to be the chairperson of this, power to tell us who are not, quote, in power, what to do with ourselves when sometimes those in power can't figure out what to do with themselves, but they expect us to agree with the power that they're trying to pass on to us. Got it? Yes, I got it. I got it. So just thinking about being vulnerable, being aware, deepening our own selfhood and the masks that we are wearing. I bought a mask for $5 the other day. And it was quite a time trying to find one. And that was a mask for sleeping, the little blackout ones that you see that are all real cute in the movies. I went looking for one, and it took, a 30-minute drive over to the Steel Yard, Plaza, whatever that is. I didn't know where my GPS was taking me. And 2 stores, and I found one for $5. And it's got little kitty all over it. The little cat, it's got little kitty all over it. So I'm going to be using my living room instead of my bedroom for a few days. And the living room is so bright, and someone suggested, get a mask. And I said, oh, that's interesting. That's what we're talking about on Sunday. So let me trip out here and see if I can find a mask. It was very difficult, but it's cute. The one I got is cute. So I decided to really let that be a symbol for me, that sometime you really just got to go and look and see where the mask is at. See, science mind is everywhere. Everywhere, everything we think, say, and do. And it's a push. Just that simple fact of looking for a physical mask pushed me further into this month of vulnerability. So if something like that comes up for you, just let your GPS guide you. I trusted it because I thought I was going to the left and then the right and then straight. But I went to the right and then to the left and really further down straight. Just an example of how you can be aware of every little nuance that comes up in your experience is not like the 2x4 that I use sometime to get something into my head. It's not like the 2x4. See, God is so special. It just gently lets the GPS in you lead you to the appropriate expansion of your life. And I know some of you are saying, oh my goodness, Reverend June's just blown the coop there. But I'm so serious. I'm very, very serious. Relax into life. Allow the essence and the truth of God to gently lead you and move you and assist you to a new and more courageous and a new and a better you. And one of those avenues is vulnerability. We talked a lot about that last week. To be vulnerable enough to insist to yourself that there is more of you to, as Jerry was reading, to let shine, then you allow to let shine. And the mask is actually, masks are very appropriate on October 31st for Halloween. If you're going to, to New Orleans, Fran's laughing because we went to a New Orleans during the Mardi Gras one year to a conference. Masks all over the place, fabulous masks. They were appropriate. They, see where else? Well, a year and a half ago, you didn't dare. And actually recently, I went into a couple buildings and they asked me to have a mask, and they had a box of them there because I no longer carry a mask in my purse. I don't know if a lot of us do keep up with masks, but they were appropriate at a certain time. Maybe they're still appropriate. We'll find out. But masks of the humanness of who we are neither appropriate, they're not beneficial, they're not, beneficial is a good cover. They're not beneficial, especially when it comes to thinking that we're hiding our true self. And who are we hiding it from? Our true self. Because actually, when you're around people that, well, even that know you, I was going to say that don't know you, when you're around anyone and you're hiding behind a mask, people that really know you think they know you, but they don't know you because they're perceiving you through this mask that you've put up. People that haven't known you, they're going to think they're perceiving who you are as this person they just meet or begin to know, because they don't know the difference. And sometimes family members will know the difference. Sometimes friends will know the difference because they will say, you've changed, or how are you really today? Because you're not your usual masked self. You know, all this comes into play. And maybe you're your real self and you've been masked for so long, they don't recognize you. So all in all, the masking of the personhood, who you are, do we say it's wrong? Do we say it's inappropriate? What do we say? What do I say? I say for myself, when recognized, especially after reading between just beginning this month's Science of Mind magazine, which is focusing on all this, it's kind of made me wake up so that my GPS is taking me, my spiritual GPS is taking me on a new way to be, to think, to prosper through, to advance. You know, you live a certain number of days, a certain number of weeks, a certain number of years, and you think you already got it. You ain't got nothing. What? You know? Get that pattern of, I did it that way for a long time, and it's worked. And then one day, the mask slips a little, and you see a different attitude, and you see a different direction, and all of a sudden your eyes are wide open. Same old you, but there's something that has shifted, and all of a sudden the mask falls. And you're so happy and you're so excited that you begin, I guess, to put on another mask. I don't know how else to put it, but it's more beneficial than living with that blackoutness across your eyes. At least you're wide and awake and advancing your selfhood, your consciousness. So I don't want to put a bad rap on masks, because nothing that happens to us or occurs in our lives are negative. It's all God. It's all good. So just be aware of the beauty that comes with the unfolding of your own vulnerability, your own removal of the mask, so that you can progress and be more of who you truly are. And that is God's essence coming through you in a different way, a newness, a wonderfulness. So also on the notes here on the front of the bulletin, the summary of today's topic, I underlined the norm, and we lose ourselves in the process of trying to please others. The full sentence reads, the problem with masks is when they become the norm and we lose ourselves in the process of trying to please others. Trying to please others. If you stop and think of it, that's a huge, huge statement. If you realize how many others there are in your life. If you only have one or two people in your life, I guess that's not such a hard task. But when you think about it, how many others are there in your life that you meet once? Are you trying to please them? That you meet just in passing or sitting and talking to someone you don't know and they're talking about this, that, and the other. So you pull something out of your consciousness, your beingness that relates to what they're talking about. Is that a mask? Is that something you really care about? Is that really you? Or are you just adjusting yourself to the person you're around at that time or the group of people you're around at that time? Being a teenager at one point in life, I can remember, very, very, very busy trying to please the masses all around me. Oh, Susie Bell's got a pair of shoes that I like. I'll get a pair of those. And then 3 or 4 other young ladies also. We all wind up with the same shoes. Do we like those shoes? No, it's because Susie Woozy, whoever she was very popular. So of course we had to have those shoes so we would be popular. Sounds like the ad, what is that? Not Wall Street, but the New York, the advertising business. How do they get us? They get us because they see that we have masks and they see that we want to be like the other masks and the other attitudes. So we're so vulnerable and we're so wanting to be within that range of, what was that word here? Accepted. That we put on a mask and we buy and we do and all that because we want to be accepted. Who are we trying to impress? I don't know. I can tell you mine, but we don't have enough time today to do that because I honestly am beginning to recognize this vulnerability and this area in my life that certainly can improve by standing in my own power and knowing exactly who I am and who I want to be. And there's something else that goes along with that, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. You can't bulldoze through life trying to be the bulldozer, trying to push everybody in your way and out of the way. So I guess that too is a mess. So we wear masks at different times. We're on to the next page of the bulletin here. We wear masks at different times and for different reasons. I think that's very healthy. I think that's very healthy. Again, masks can be this or that or whatever, depending on why you are doing what you are doing, why you are thinking what you are thinking. I talked about the theater. I talked about the pandemic, wearing masks. There are times and situations that we wear masks, changing or hiding who we are to protect our heart and emotions, to protect our heart and emotions. I know that what came up for me is the truth of each of us, every single one of us actually in this world, that the mask that is worn in grief, whatever the grief is, a lot of ways that we succumb to grief and succumb very deeply to grief. So the mask that we put on for whomever, I don't want my children to see me like this. I don't want. So the mask comes on in order to protect oneself. And it's that difference in the play on what you're talking about, to protect yourself and to not allow yourself to be seen in a certain perspective. I don't want to appear weak. I don't want to appear lost. I don't want to be misunderstood. Just human concepts that we live with every day. There are times and situations that we wear masks, changing or hiding who we are to protect our hearts and emotions. Valid, just valid. But know within yourself that it is a mask. Again, nothing wrong with the word mask, nothing wrong with the concept that masks offers us. It means a covering up of the face, of the eyes, a covering up. It's something that is put on over the true image. Not good, not bad, not anything except what it is. A mask is a mask. But know why and when it is beneficial to you, and know why and when it is not beneficial to you. That's where the vulnerability of being able to be who you are comes in. And the passion that just came up in my beingness, the passion and the truth and the love that you have for yourself. How do you really feel about your true self? And that's what's important, because all the other stuff, all the other people, I don't care if it's your children, your husband, your partner, the closest being to you. If you're true to yourself and the mask that you choose to put on at any particular time, you understand the benefit of it. You don't use it as a place to hide. It's perfect. Just keep the idea of this vulnerability within yourself and within your actions and the choices that you make. So don't let the word mask and don't let this information take you in a wrong direction. Like this earlier explanation to the GPS. Let it guide you. Trust it. Trust spirit within your life. Trust the godness that you are, that you're going to know when, where, how, and why this essence called masks is going to be beneficial to you. So now we get to the message. When we wear masks, we keep parts of ourselves hidden that deserve to shine. Hidden's mentioned quite a bit through these different references here. And I looked up hidden in the textbook, and on page 441, there is a direct reference. Second full paragraph entitled, "Nothing can be hidden And from the Bible, it's from Luke 12:2. In saying there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known, Jesus was referring to the mind. Jesus was referring to the mind that knows to the all-seeing. Let me read this underline, excuse me. Jesus was referring to the mind that knows to the all-seeing eye, from which nothing is concealed. What are we? Who are we? We are divine expressions of the One, Spirit, Essence, God, Jehovah, whatever name you choose to call it. Quite often, Ernest Holmes refers to it as it. That's all there is. God expressing itself. In saying there is nothing covered that shall be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. That shall not be known. God is all there is. Who else? What else? Whatever you want to say is to know. If you know anything, you're knowing God. It's expressing itself in and as and through you. Jesus was referring to the mind, and mind is capital M, that knows to all-seeing eye. Knows to the all-seeing eye, from which nothing is concealed. That is a very, very powerful statement. And if you want to reference back to this, it's 441, and it's the second paragraph in the very first sentence. The cosmic ear hears everything. The eternal mind knows all things, and the law of cause and effect brings everything to pass in due time. I'm sure, no, I'm not sure. Yes, I am sure that, no, I'm not sure. What I was going to say is that everyone in the universe is more patient than I am, but I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Because I'm really not that impatient most of the time. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So if that shoe fits you, just play with it in your mind, be vulnerable, be aware, be excited that you're impatient, because it just grounds us to let us know that we are human, and that we can always relate back to, it says in time, everything will be brought to us in time. And knowing that we are God expressing, we're going to get it. It's just going to take some of us about some things. Just calm down and breathe. Give it at least 5 minutes, and it's going to be there. But you know what I mean. Just relax into it. Just know that divine inspiration is God. We are God. So therefore, all this getting all upset about things, just put it in its place and know that this too shall pass and this too shall come. So let's see what else we got here. What mask do we show to the outside world, to family, friends, or business partners? Are we showing things like, I'm confident, I'm fine, I'm in charge, everything's good, I'm happy? That's fine if it's accurate, if it's true. But is it always true? Yes, it is, because we are God expressing. Do we always know that? No. speaking for me, can't put it on you. If you don't, if you don't pick up my, these words keep popping out, bad habits, then they're not for you. So just know that I have admitted to myself that every once in a while I'm saying I'm confident, I'm fine, I'm in charge, everything's good, I'm happy. Every once in a while, that's not accurate. But it's okay because I'm vulnerable enough to know, wake up, little Susie, wake up. What are you perpetuating? You're perpetuating the opposite of all these statements because they're not true, and you're recognizing them and you know it and your body knows it and you feel it. So I take it on. I take it on. To wear a mask of confidence, authority, perfection, even efficiency when this is not what we are feeling may be the appropriate response in the moment. But when we are hiding, who we are will remain in the space of always guessing where the next threat is coming from, because we are not standing in our truth and power. It gets very tiresome. If you've done this, if you haven't done it, then it's okay. It gets very tiresome if you watch enough of the detective stories and they arrest somebody and they charge him and they keep saying, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent. And then they start asking him question here and a question there and a question there. And they answer this, this, and this. And then all of a sudden they ask another question. And then they say a different answer than they said over here. And then when they really get to questioning them, they say different answer for all three of the other questions. So that's how they get you. Get the person, get you. If for yourself, you're always on alert. And what did I say about that last time? How did I do that the last time? Was I in my happy mood, but I really wasn't happy? Was I looking at my finances and I knew they were low, but I went ahead and I spent and wrote a check and oh my goodness, now is that going to bounce? Or oh my goodness, what did I do about that? What did I say about that? And that goes on and on and on. It's tiring. You see, I only tell you what I know. So I know that that's tiring. And if you're authentic enough and vulnerable enough to really look at what's tiring you out, put this whole page up somewhere. Keep your bulletin, put it up somewhere on your mirror, and you can go, or on your refrigerator. I've got magnets all over mine. They don't mean anything. Maybe I ought to put something like this up so that when I open the refrigerator, I see, are you being vulnerable today? Are you being honest today? It's important. Think about it. You may not want to, but ask for help. I underline that. Ask for help. Call a practitioner. Call the helpline here at Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. Call the helpline, our prayer line. If you need a kick in the pants, if you just need a soothing reference to life, call the Miracle Center line, prayer line. Call a practitioner, call a minister, call someone other than your own mind, which is wonderful, but it plays it safe. Sometimes that mind of ours does not have the courage to be vulnerable. and it plays itself, and it plays the same record over and over again. And somehow, when you hear the same record over and over again, you pretty much think that that's accurate. But it doesn't have to be, and it may not be. See, I skipped down here. Feel your feelings, all of them. All of them. And this list that I went through earlier, if you're happy, back to my teaching little people days, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. There's a song. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, stand up, turn around. If you're happy. If you are, accept the fact that you are happy. And I find that that is the most difficult to do when society perhaps says you're not supposed to be happy. Be happy in your unhappiness. Face it heart on, not head on. Face it heart on. And it eases the pains, if there is pain, and pain can be arranged in any way. But it assists if you're happy and you understand that you are a divine expression of God, and therefore this too shall pass. I love this one. This is said in two places. You are not required to explain no. And if somebody asks you why not, do you have to answer them? You don't. You don't. And on the other side of that, there's somewhere in here it is, way down at the bottom of this paragraph. Only say yes to your yeses. You do not have to explain no. If you can say, yes, I'm going to do that, and then you give a dissertation about how and why and when and how long it's going to be and whatever, do the opposite with a no. No. And as a parent, as a friend, when someone says no, honor them and accept the no. How about that? Is that difficult? Yes, sometimes it is. But remember, you have power, they have power, all God's children got power. And stand in that power. Let's see. Oh, down here, I move faster. I'm bird walking off here. Light is to be revealed, not concealed. It is exhausting to be what you are not. And I brushed on that a bit. It is. It's, I guess I would equate it to, you have a size 8.5 foot, so you should wear 8.5. Some styles, maybe an 8 will fit. Sometime you maybe have to go up to a 9, depending on the style. But are you going to wear size 5 shoes? Come on. Especially, I shouldn't say especially women, but that's the only species I really know. A 8.5 shoe wearing lady is not going to go buy, was it Ferragamos that are like $250? I don't know. They're not going to buy a size 12. Nothing wrong with a size 12 shoe if you fit a size 12 shoe. So think about your life in those kinds of silly terms. Why are you going to exhaust yourself by trying to do and be something that is not comfortable, something that is not you? Just some thoughts. Let's see. And embodiment. I decided to use the word embodiment because I think that is what we have to do in order to be true to ourselves about anything. When something is told to you, I don't think most of us take it as a fact. Even if I get on the phone, for example, and checking my amount in my checking account, I hear it. I'll get on the computer and pull it up, and I want to see it. That might not be accurate either. You know, banks do make mistakes, but you've got to embody something. You've got to believe in it and proceed from that point. And if your GPS is off an nth degree, it's going to take you off many nth degrees as it acts to take you where you want to go. So your own mind, your own self, you must embody what it is that excites you, that is the truth of who you're being and who you are. So on 186, second paragraph here, look only at what you want. So if we're using the example of being vulnerable and using our best self activities within our own mind, and it referenced at the beginning, the mind, look only at what you want. Never look at that which you do not wish to experience. Do not look at that which you do not wish to experience. God says yes. It doesn't say, June, that's going to do this, that, or the other to you or for you. Do you realize that if you do that, it's going to be a mistake? Do you want to make a mistake? Of course, June says, of course not, because I never make mistakes. Never look at that which you do not wish to experience. God always says yes. Always. Maybe not in the human perspective that we desire it to be, but the perfection of God within us, God expressing itself, which is perfection, you're going to get the yes. No matter what the false condition may be, it must be refuted. But I say you must embody the spiritual truth before it can be refuted. Because this humanness that we wonderfully are has a way of disguising, a way of really mistreating our divine intelligence to the point where we think we know more than our spiritual self, our God self. That's my opinion. The proper kind of a denial is based upon the recognition that in reality, there is no limitation, for mind can as easily make a planet as an acorn. We can make a mountain out of a molehill. That's somewhere in the Bible too. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Sometimes we're pretty good at it. The infinite knows no difference between $1 million and a penny. Does your human self know the difference between $1 million and a penny? Which would you rather have? Is that your spiritual truth, or is that your human truth, or are both correct? Or both appropriate, we'll say. It only knows that, and these two words are capitalized, all 4 letters of these 2 little words. It only knows that it, capital I-T, is capital I-S. It only knows that it is. It only knows God expressing. So the rest of this bulletin here. Go as fast as the slowest part of yourself. Go as fast as the slowest part of yourself, because this is the true level of your authentic expression. Don't get out in front of your skis because you'll wind up on your nose. And it is from authentic expression and connection that we can experience the love, the compassion, and connection that we all seek and desire and deserve. This month, it's a good lesson. Good lesson. I'm going to have Laverne come up and she's going to do our reader, and then we'll proceed on.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
There is something which waits only our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power in the universe. And that's from Ernest Holmes' Creative Mind and Success, page 31. Any sense of guilt we have, any burden of condemnation we entertain, or any mental state that weighs us down, hinders us from more fully experiencing the nature of spiritual reality. From Ernest Holmes, Richer Living, page 9. Life is not just something to be endured. It is to be lived in joy, in a fullness without limit. Ernest Holmes, Discover a Richer Life, page 58. For no one lights a lamp to sit it under a bushel or to put it in a hidden place, but sets it on the lampstand, that all who go in and come out may see its light. Jesus, Gospel of Thomas, page 33. The greatest battle we face as human beings is the battle to protect our true selves from the self the world wants us to become. E.E. Cummings. Once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. Marjorie Williams, The Velveteen Rabbit. Spiritual goals. These would be yours to honor, knowing what you require for your spiritual health and vitality can support you in your self-care in this area. Honor and love yourself as you begin to let your masks drop. You have skills already navigate these new waters. It feels new, it feels vulnerable. Through compassionate self-inquiry, journaling, and even conversations with others who we trust, we can get a clearer picture of what matters to us and what are our boundaries and limits. And so it is.
If you have an opportunity to read a story to a child, The Velveteen Rabbit's a beautiful story. I love teaching first and second grade because children's books are awesomely metaphysical. And I didn't know that at the time, but now I find that to be true. So we have a song, and I want to play it longer than I did last week because it is the truth, and I'll have Chris stop it in a little bit, and then we'll go ahead on. But love this song. Remember that truth, our God is an awesome God, which means I am awesome. Each and every individualized expression of God is awesome. We have our call to action. Briefly read just a little bit of it as we at the bottom sentence, actually. As we love ourselves more fully and practice being vulnerable, we will become less sensitive to the opinions of others. And I do want to give a shout out to National Women's Month. And there are so many, so many women in this world to bless and honor. And let's remember that in our hearts and in our prayers as we see through our political systems, through our medical systems, through all systems of our world today, is women who are standing on the shoulders of women from the past. So I'm going to just do a treatment here, and then Jerry's going to come up and give us our benediction. So we move. We don't even move. We don't have to move. We are in that space of being the perfect essence and the truth of God. And it's so simple because we are that truth and we are that essence. And we are the heart, the soul, the energy, the love, the givingness, the prosperity, the simplicity of God. And knowing that within that simplicity of allness, we can speak our word directly into the heart of God through our own heart, through our own mind, through our own sense of being who we are. The truth is we are divine, we are vulnerable, we are all of the good and the truth and the essence and the prosperity and the intelligence and all the attributes of God that live so simply within each and every person. Know who you are, know what you want, be what you want, be who you are, stand in your own power, bless those around you by being authentic and vulnerable. This is the truth of happiness, the truth of life shining, not hidden, but shining with every thought, shining with every word, everything that you hear, everything that you do, shining out, because we are an awesome God, individualized. Oh, the power of perfect health within us, the power of abundance in money, in every affair of our life. Just the true happiness and harmony of God simply unfolding itself. And I use the word simple because it is ease and grace. We are it, we live it, we surround ourselves with it, and we just know the truth. And in this knowing, I bless each and every one of us and those beyond the sound of my voice, knowing that within the ethers of this, every breath that we all take on this planet, we hear, we see, we love, we be one another. Knowing that this is the truth, I simply allow it to be, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Let's give Reverend June a round of applause. We had so many ways to think about mask, how we are masked, how we use the mask, and so forth. And now if you would just relax, put your feet flat on the floor, take a nice cleansing breath. Infinite Spirit, in whom we live, move, and have our being, we just give thanks for this time that we've had together. We give thanks to talk about masks in this day. We give thanks for each and every person who's a part of this sermon, this ceremony today. And we just know that we are blessed. Our church is blessed. Our members are blessed. Our friends are blessed. And if you're in agreement with me, please say with me. And so it is. Amen, amen, and amen. I want to thank everyone for your wonderful sharing of all of your tithes and gifts. For all of you out in Zoom land, for sharing when you go out to PayPal and the other thing that and use your credit cards on our website. Oh, we have a visitor today. Would you please stand and tell us where you're from and your name, please? Yes.
My name is Melissa Nadio. I live in Lakewood. And I've lived here since 2005. And I've been watching the Center for Spiritual Living online in Austin, Texas, where my sister lived for a long time. And I realized I wanted to be with people, fly with people. So that's, and I've looked and I've on and seen that you're pretty forced.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. It's a wonderful, cool day. Well, that's a wonderful, cool day. I just give thanks for everyone that is here and look forward to seeing you across the hall as we have our little snacks over there. And for those on Zoom, we'll be sharing a little time with you on our camera here. And we'll be doing the peace song first. So let's just make a circle here and do the circle up here, and we can do the peace song.